One of the only players that the Giants hadn't been connected to this offseason, well, that just changed. Cody Bellinger, could he be the next right fielder out there in Oracle Park? Let's talk about it on this episode of Locked On Giants.
You are Locked On Giants, your daily San Francisco Giants podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, y'all? I'm Alan Stiles. Welcome to Locked On Giants, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Now, thanks to people like you, the #1 sports podcast network. On the show, we provide daily episodes Monday through Friday, talking about the San Francisco Giants in a way that combines passion, analytics with the eye test, and a little bit of fun. I'm from the Bay Area, but I live in Sacramento now, and I host a show on Sacktown Sports 1140, as well as emceeing Sacramento River Cats games. All in all, I'm lucky enough to cover a team I've been a fan of all my life. Today, we are discussing the Giants' interest in Cody Bellinger. We got winter meeting rumors part 2, and Marco Luciano. We did not get a chance to talk about Marco Luciano, who is claimed off waivers and is headed to Pittsburgh to kick it with Joey Bart, as well as the Giants staff members winning some awards. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. So, some things have changed since we spoke last, and very funny the way everything kind of laid itself out, because there was one player in particular that I said yesterday, I said, this is the only guy that I feel confident that the Giants do not have any interest in. All right. And it was Kyle Tucker and, to a lesser degree, Cody Bellinger. Well, today you have a situation where Scott Boras, as it's been reported, that the Giants don't necessarily love doing business with Scott Boras. They would prefer not to, but it's kind of hard because the guy has cornered the market a little bit. Scott Boras comes out and has a riddle and or a poem that has gone a bit viral. And this was his answer when he was asked how things are going with Cody Bellinger. All right. And he says, it's not for me to judge, but great players see red if they have a big bat yanked out of their lineup. I haven't met a team that dodges a 5-tool player to fill center field need is a giant step towards the playoffs. North and South outfielders that fly with power, they're rare birds. In the offseason, there's a lot of startup to organizations, and for that reason, there's a lot of angel investors that are looking for very versatile outfielders. So other than that, Belly doesn't have much interest. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. And if you're Scott Boras, hey man, this is Christmas for him, right? I mean, it's Christmas around the corner, but literally for him, because he's getting these percentages, all these big deals that are coming in. And man, I probably should have been an agent. But anyway, this is how people have broken down the names that he brought up. He has the Reds, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Phillies, the Giants, and the Angels. So you have Red. So that's the Reds, yanked out of their lineup. That's the Yankees. A team that dodges a 5-tool player. That's the Dodgers. To fill the center field need. That's the Phillies. Is a giant step toward the playoffs. That's the Giants. And the angel investors. That's the Angels. I mean, come on, man. Come on. Of course, some people thought it was funny. Some people thought it was a bit corny, but that's just the type of stuff that Scott Boras does. And you did have Susan Slusser say this: Scott Boras drops the Giants name amidst an extended pun when asked about Cody Bellinger. Takeaway, huge market for Bellinger, and the Giants have at least called on him. In my opinion, he'd be the best possible outfield option for SF, but lots of other teams feel the same way, unsurprisingly. So Cody Bellinger, to me, again, it's just a matter of who we thought the Giants were going to spend money on and at what level they were going to spend this money, because I like Cody Bellinger. I like his left-handed swing. I think the biggest issue is, and we'll talk about the projection, just the age that he is and how much longer he could play center field. I mean, he was playing first base, right field, center field. So he's very versatile. And I do like that about him for sure. This was what Jeff Young, our guy Jeff Young from Around the Foghorn, had to say about it. It's an imperfect fit for the Giants, but Cody Bellinger does check some boxes off. I think he has a down-the-line swing that could do well at Oracle Park, but I think the Giants would really need to be cautious about how his offensive profile will age. No surprise that Bellinger has a healthy market. He's coming off a strong season with the Yankees and does not have a qualifying offer attached to his name. So Cody Bellinger, he hit 29 home runs last season, which is insane. And funny enough, going back to our favorite article that we continue to pull up from The Athletic, the Giants are listed as a fit for Cody Bellinger. The New York Yankees, the Philadelphia Phillies, and the San Francisco Giants. Cody Bellinger, few players have ridden a year-to-year roller coaster quite like Bellinger, from MVP to below replacement level, from non-tender to big-time free agent, from salary dump to 5-win player. He's a free agent for the third time in the last 4 years, and it feels like he's hitting it at the right time now. He's reestablished a solid floor of performance while still flashing the all-star peaks he's reached less consistently. In his one season with the Yankees, he came within 4 plate appearances of a career high while delivering 59 extra base hits and playing excellent defense in the corner outfield. He remains a capable center fielder, at least in the short term, and is adept at first base as well. Bellinger did most of his damage at home last season. Keep that in mind, at home. Yankee Stadium, the Cracker Jack Park, with a 909 OPS at Yankee Stadium compared to a 715 OPS on the road. I don't like that, people. I don't like that. Those are pretty insane splits. And I like Cody Bellinger. You know, here's a guy who he's not going to be afraid of the moment. He's really only played for big markets, from the Dodgers to the Cubs, now the Yankees, and the Giants would fit that as well. But that is worrisome because I know the Giants, Oracle Park, right field isn't necessarily, it's not far, right? What is it, 309? But due to the height, you got to get it up there for those splash hits. And it's less about Oracle Park and more about Yankee Stadium and how players just look different there, man. And we talked about Trent Grisham, who he decided to go back to New York. And why wouldn't he? He looked like a complete stud out there. So that does scare me a little bit. The projection for Cody Bellinger, again, he's 30 years old now. They got him at 7 years, $182 million. I don't know. Are you in a position to just go after Kyle Tucker at that point? I think that might be my argument, right? And obviously Kyle Tucker, we can go back and forth. Kyle Tucker, 12 years, $460 million. Okay, so it's still not, that's a projection. It's still not as ridiculous as Kyle Tucker. He's got the Dodgers, the Yankees, and the Phillies. And now Kyle Tucker, as we are doing process of elimination, now Kyle Tucker remains really the only guy that the Giants haven't had any level of connection to, because Cody Bellinger has been thrown into that list based on a poem and or riddle from Scott Boras. So that is a name that scares me, man. 6 years. You know, you look at the Giants and some of the players that have, and we'll talk about, of course, Kyle Schwarber headed back to Philly, so he's off the market. Edwin Díaz, he's headed to LA. So we're going to talk about that on the other side here. But you look at the names that are available and where the Giants kind of fall on all this. It's not surprising that they're connected to Cody Bellinger. I think the biggest thing for me is, where does he fit among the, when you look at a 36-year-old. And at this point, you just understand that these contracts aren't going to look the same in 5 years. That's just how it is right now. But, to take a look at the Giants and their prospects, let's see here. Not all of them are going to ball out. We understand that. But Bo Davidson, or be Cody Bellinger, I'm not saying that. But Bo Davidson is 23 years old already. 2027 is supposed to be when he's ready to go. Dakota Jordan is 22. He's supposed to be ready in 2027 as well. And then you have Rainer Arias, who is supposed to be ready in 2028. He's only 19. So those are three outfielders right there. I'm not saying to not make a move for Cody Bellinger because of it, because you could always trade those guys and get back whatever you need. But again, it just turns into the Giants trying to pick a lane at this point. I like Cody Bellinger, would have liked him better at 27 or 28 than at 30, just from a center field or outfield perspective. I do think he is a good outfielder for sure. And I do think he would definitely add to the lineup. It's just the 6 years that's worrying me. It's the home and away splits that are worrying me as well. So I understand why the Giants are interested. I'm actually out on this one. It's a tough one. I get it. And I want to be in, but it's just confusing what the Giants are attempting to do. If you're making me choose between Cody Bellinger and a pitcher, just go get a pitcher. That's just how I feel about it. That's just how I feel about it. All right. On the other side, let's talk about some of the moves that have been made. We got winter meeting rumors and deals that have already gone down. More Locked On Giants coming up. NFL Sundays move fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift. A receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover like Jalen Hurts had multiple last night. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment. Live spreads and money lines adjust instantly. Player props update as guys heat up. You can bet next touchdown scores, drive results, totals, and more. It keeps you locked in into every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. As I've said before, during this whole winter meeting period, I'm going to be refreshing. I'm going to do it right now, refreshing social media to see if anything else has popped up, if anything has changed, because fireworks basically kicked off this morning. Okay. Fireworks should be we have a level of breaking news here. 11 minutes ago, the Giants will pick 4th in the draft. By record, they should be 15th, but they moved way up in the lottery. Randy Wynn, who I guess was representing the Giants, legend. That is from Alex Pavlovich. So we have, that's breaking news to me. That just came out 11 minutes ago. And now I'm going to go backwards a bit here. Randy Wynn, the Giants rep at the MLB draft lottery, has brought some good luck. They had the 12th best odds in the MLB draft lottery, and they're in the top 6. Those final 6 picks will be revealed soon. All right. And now we have an update from Pavs. The Giants will pick 4th in the draft. They should have been 15th, but Randy Wynn for the win. Great job, Randy Wynn. Okay. So there you go. Now we will, of course, bring you those mock drafts and who the Giants could go for. This is very important now with Tony Vitello and how much of a connection that he has to the college world, to the high school world, recruitment, all of that. So this is one area where Tony Vitello doesn't have a lot of experience when it comes to the major leagues, but this is one area where he can flourish a little bit. So great stuff from Randy Wynn. And this is why I'm refreshing, because you never know what's going to pop up. So that is the newest news from Pavlovich, and of course we're going to see it all come out from different outlets. But you heard it here, second or third from Alex Pavlovich to the Giants and their ability to get it done. Randy Wynn, and they will pick 4th. That's great, man. Top 5. It doesn't sound like a lot, but that type of stuff matters. So great stuff from Randy Wynn, Giants legend through and through, even after he is off the field. All right. So with that being said, some fireworks happened this morning with Kyle Schwarber agreeing to stay in Philadelphia. 5 years, $130 million for Kyle Schwarber. And Edwin Díaz, this one really does hurt the soul. You have Edwin Díaz with Los Angeles Dodgers, 3 years, $69 million. Sources tell ESPN, this is from Jeff Passan. The Dodgers, who were targeting bullpen help this winter, got the best closer on the market. setting a new AAV record for relievers. So just for fun, we're going to take a look at what these guys were supposed to go for. So Edwin Díaz, his projection was 4 years, 84 million. He ended up getting 3 years, 69 million. So again, it's that AAV that Jeff Passan is saying the Dodgers took it somewhere that no reliever has ever gone before. Let's take a look at Kyle Schwarber and what the Athletic thought that he was going to get versus what he actually got. And like that was a name that there was some level of interest there, but just didn't make a ton of sense to me. 5 years, 145 million. That's what Kyle Schwarber, what he was projected at. 5 years, 130 million is what he actually got. So, I mean, that kind of helps, right? A little bit under what the assumption was. So, or what the projection was. So that is, oh, excuse me. Believe I have a typo here. Sorry. 5 years, 150 million. So 5 years, 150 million, not 130 million. And the Athletic projection was 5 years, 145. So he went over. So he went over his projection by 5 million. And you have Edwin Díaz, who didn't get as many years, but he did get an AAV that broke a record at 69 million for 3 years. So yeah, both of those guys doing pretty well for themselves, and anybody that's going to be on their holiday Christmas list is going to be very, very happy. So there you have it. Those were the two names. And I thought it was just going to start an avalanche of different names coming out today. It kind of just halted there, and then we just had to hear riddles and poems from Scott Boras. So that is where this thing is kind of sitting right now. Of course, you have the interest. The Giants are interested in so many guys that it's hard to kind of nail down who the next player will be, or where that interest is, or where that next deal will come from. Another name that has been thrown around a little bit. Obviously, people are kind of curious. Well, Kyle Tucker was the number one on this list. Let us not forget the number one position player. Let us not forget the whole thing with Kyle Tucker, and he's sitting at the 12 years, over 400 million. The whole thing with Kyle Tucker that kind of gave some people cause to pause is, what does he do great, right? When you look at Kyle Schwarber, that dude hits tanks, right? That dude hits ding-dong Donkey Kongs. That's what he does great, and he does them in bunches, right? And he does them a lot of times at the right time. So to me, Kyle Schwarber, even though it might seem, somebody might say, might seem like an overpay, to me, you understand what you're getting with Kyle Schwarber. He's a DH, right? You might be slightly overpaying him, but if you are the Phillies, you understand that you're trying to win the whole thing anyway, and it's going to cost some money. Now you need your other guys to show up, and they have some holes to fill, but you kind of understand where they're coming from there in that specific situation that they're in. They got Bryce, I don't know how much longer, probably forever, right? At least it feels like that. So they kind of know what they want to do and the direction that they want to go in. So I don't mind that deal for the Phillies. I kind of would have minded it for the Giants. I would have loved them in the lineup, but just seems not redundant, I would say. But again, you have other things that you need to fix and other situations that you need to address. So those were the two kind of biggest moves, and then it just went radio silent. And as I mentioned, just so you know, the White Sox won the draft lottery. They have the number one pick in this upcoming year's draft. So the White Sox get the number one pick. Your San Francisco Giants have the number 4 pick, which is huge. That's really important to continue to build this thing, because, and I'll pull the numbers for us, how things change going from first pick in the draft to second to third to fourth to first rounders in general. The ability for those guys to get to the show and be impact players, those slots do matter. Now you just got to take the right guy. And hopefully with a group a set of coaches and managers that are more familiar with the college ranks and the high school ranks and recruiting. Hopefully it puts them in a better position to nail this thing down. One more segment with you. Let's discuss out with the old, in with the new, I guess. Marco Luciano, happy trails to him and good luck to him in his career. And the Giants are winning awards. So why are fans so upset? One more segment, more Locked On Giants coming up. The World Cup is coming back to North America for the first time since 1994, and with 48 teams for the first time ever, it's going to be massive. But let's be honest, getting tickets is usually the hardest part. That's why the Game Time app is clutch, finally giving fans a real advantage when it comes to snagging seats. With Game Time, you can track price drops in real time, get alerts when great seats open, and buy tickets the moment they hit the app. It puts the power back in your hands and makes going to the World Cup realistic instead of impossible. You pull up the app, and the layout makes it so simple to scroll through matchups and compare seat views. The seat view feature is a game changer. You literally see what the pitch looks like from your exact seat before you buy. Alerts for teams and matches makes it easy to grab tickets the moment they drop instead of missing out. Take the guesswork out of buying World Cup tickets and every match, concert, or event. With Game Time, download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, download the app, make an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, download Game Time today. Thank you for making Locked On Giants your first listen of the day, and thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. You already live your team every day. Now take it up a level and go ad-free. Join the Everydayer Club today and get Locked On Giants with no interruptions, members-only Discord access, and more, all for just $5 a month or $50 a year. Go to lockedonsfgiants.supercast.com or check the link in the show notes to learn more. If you're a true diehard Giants fan, the Everydayer All Access tier is built for you. You'll get one-on-one text access with me, all access episodes, an exclusive newsletter, and a 15% discount to the Locked On merch store. Head to lockedonsfgiants.supercast.com to join the Everydayer Club and unlock all access. You can also find the link in the show notes. One more segment with you, and I wanted to start here. We did not get a chance to talk about it yesterday because everything that had been going on, but happy trails to Marco Luciano. He was picked up off waivers. He is headed to Pittsburgh to join another former top prospect for the Giants, Joey Bart. So they are both going to be out there in Pittsburgh, and we know the connection, how Oracle Park, the same ballpark designers, they created the PNC Park out there in Pittsburgh. So maybe there'll be a little bit of familiarity there for Marco Luciano and Joey Bart. Joey Bart has had a couple of good moments there out there in Pittsburgh. So, just real quick, where it all went wrong. I had somebody that was close to the organization. They sent me a text. I actually think I did this on the air when I was out there in the Bay. And they told me that the Giants, they just purposely almost refuse to believe that Marco Luciano couldn't be a shortstop, and they waited too long. And at that time, again, 2-3 years ago, they were supposed to move him to the outfield. They didn't. They tried a little bit of second base, and they botched it, right? He was supposed to take the keys from Brandon Crawford. He was supposed to be one of the guys, man, and it just didn't work out for him, unfortunately. And the Giants are moving forward. Obviously, that was a different regime. I think Buster might have been playing still. Not might have been. He was playing still. Might have even played with Marco Luciano a little bit alongside him. So it didn't work out for him. And honestly, I just wish him the best. He's still, 24 years old. So he has an opportunity to start fresh and get a good amount of a run out there in Pittsburgh because they're trying to figure out things. So Andrew McCutchen can kind of help guide the way as well. So I'm happy for him. It wasn't going to work out here. The Giants have moved forward, and he gets another opportunity to show what he can do. Doesn't really matter why it went wrong, but that's what I heard. The Giants, it was known around the league that Marco Luciano was not going to be a shortstop, and the Giants just didn't want to believe it. They didn't deal him, and ultimately it ended up costing them, I guess, just an opportunity to get value when he had it, and he ultimately gets claimed off of waiver. So there you have it with Marco Luciano, and I'm paying attention, man. Maybe he'll figure it out. Maybe he just needed a change of scenery. He's still got a couple more years before I think people will say, all right, maybe you just don't got it, kid. If he's able to get a significant run, I think the thing for me being out here in Sacramento was even River Cats games. A lot of these guys, I mean, you could even say Luis Matos. The Luis Matos thing, he would get to the big leagues and it just wouldn't look like it was clicking. But while in AAA, the dude was a stud, right? Marco Luciano, it didn't even really click like that in AAA, at least not this past season. So I'm glad he's going to get an opportunity to play somewhere else. And I hope it works out for him. I really do. You know, that's pretty much it for me. So wanted to start there and kind of tie a bow on his time in San Francisco, or more so in Sacramento. And happy trails to Marco Luciano. We wish him the best. All right. Wanted to, I guess, just have a dialogue, if you will, on the situation that is going on right now. This is from Alex Pavlovich as well as Susan Slusser. So the Giants are winning a bunch of awards, and a lot of Giants fans are a little bit cynical, right? Or being cynical, a bit sarcastic, because the Giants are winning these awards, right? Meanwhile, the Dodgers signed Edwin Díaz. So it might be easier to just explain to you how it all kind of has progressed. So Susan Slusser says the Giants are sweeping all the winter meetings awards. Home clubhouse manager Brad Grems and visiting clubhouse manager Gavin Cuddy won the Clubhouse Manager of the Year awards today. The first time ever both awards came from the same team. Last night, Giants PR man extraordinaire won the Robert O. Fischel Award for Public Relations Excellence. And of course, Jeff Kent is now a Hall of Famer. What a few days. That's what Susan Slusser says. And she was talking about Matt Chisholm. Okay, Matt Chisholm won that award. So Giants fans are reacting how you'd expect them to react. Hang the banner. Great stuff. So Susan is kind of pushing back and responding to some people saying, hey, why can't you just, be happy for this? Can we, and I'm paraphrasing here, not to put words in her mouth, compartmentalize these things. And I understand what Susan is saying. I do. And, people are going to fan how they want to fan, but I do. It's not surprising to me that people are reacting this way when the Dodgers just set a new AAV record to sign Edwin Díaz, and the Giants have just kind of been connected to people, kind of not. We should be able to compartmentalize, but there are fans out there that just don't care, right? And I'm not going to tell you whether you should or shouldn't care, but there are fans out there that do not care that the Giants are doing things right behind the scenes, and they got some really hard workers that are winning awards. Good for them. But it's kind of a thing I would never tell someone, you have to post it, right? It's Giants news. Pavlovich and Susan Slusser, they cover the Giants, so you have to post that stuff. But there are people that have on notifications for Susan, notifications for Pavlovich, and they're waiting to hear about a move, and then they see this, and they're reacting the way some fans are going to react. So, and some people were using curse words, I should say. And I just think that is definitely unnecessary. But am I surprised that there are fans out there that got a push notification from Alex Pavlovich or from Susan Slusser, and then it said the Giants won Clubhouse Manager of the Year, and it ticked them off? But we got to be better than that. I don't tell people how to fan, but, Susan is obviously willing to, I don't want to say react, but willing to kind of go back and forth and say, hey, this is separate. This is just for people doing a good job. And I completely understand where she's coming from. And you have to say it, right? Or you got to post it. It's cool. Don't get me wrong. But right now, as everybody's kind of on the edge of their seats waiting for a move, it went over about as well as I thought it would. But look, I know that drop the banner. We did it. Some of it is kind of funny, just don't be as rude about it, I guess. And all those people are working their butts off, so good for them. But am I surprised that there are some fans out there that were expecting to see an actual move, and then that's what they saw, and it ticked them off. No, I am not surprised. Everybody's on edge right now, but the hope is at least we'll hopefully get some news very, very soon. Thank you for listening to Locked On Giants. Thank you for watching Locked On Giants. Be sure to follow me on social media at @_SouthFile, with an I, as well as our official Locked On Giants account. Thank you for tuning in today. Be sure to subscribe and follow Locked On Giants so you get all the latest episodes. Did Locked On Giants make your Spotify Wrapped? Prove it on social media to secure a free month of our brand new Everydayer Club. Just tag our National Locked On Podcast Network account on any social platform, and we'll drop you a code. Be one of the first to join the Everydayer Club to get your favorite show ad-free and exclusive access to the members-only Discord channel. For those of you on video, we send you to the first ever 24/7 National Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. On audio, make sure you make your second listen Locked On MLB. We will talk to you tomorrow. Until then, peace.